Hello Doraemons, welcome back to my channel. So for this video, as you guys know, this NQT is heading in this month. So most of you people have been trying to solve the problems, learn the reasoning, verbal, and also the coding part. But this video is especially for people like me who wants to prepare a day before exam. But today I'm going to give you a detailed idea of how you can prepare in just one day. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first off, here I have listed the set of topics which you want to learn. So these are the topics which you usually get even if you search for NQT questions. So let's first see, like, I have learned all these topics, but I'm going to say the things which is most important to learn and which is mostly asked in the NQT exams. So as you can see, this simplification is mostly embedded in all of the questions, so learning it separately is a waste of time. And moving on to next, percentage has only like 10% of the contribution to the total questions, because it will have one problem or one to two problem, and it will be very complex, which is also related with simple interest and compound interest. So you have to like combine and study percentage and this simple interest and compound interest mostly. So this you can learn at the last, so I'll give this priority as 4. And average, as you guys know, this average is also embedded in other questions, so learning it separately is not needed. And moving on to ratio and proportions, this ratio and proportions are also like percentage. They are mostly embedded with this probability like kind of thing, like they are mixed in this probability, and you have to, this is in this ratio and you have to find what is the amount. So these two are combinedly asked with the ratio and proportion, probability, permutation, and combination. So if you are learning, you have to learn a combination of these two questions or these two topics. Ages, you can go for it because this one has second priority. This ages question gets asked every time, and it will have at least 3 to 4 questions minimum, so you can directly go with the ages problem. And profit and loss, like these is also a simple one. Profit and loss, it is also usually asked with percentage and also this probability and combination. So profit and loss is also to be learned with probability, permutation, and commutation problems. So moving on to the statistics, I will definitely say you can ignore this of problems because it will take a lot of time to solve in the exam in the given particular time limit, and also it takes a lot of time to learn, so it consumes a lot of time before the exam. So you can directly avoid the statistics question, and even if you get, you can just attend it on fluke. It may get right sometimes, so we don't have to miss the luck, so we will attend it in a fluke way. So now next, moving on to time and work. This time and work is the most important one, because this will majorly take part in the quantitative side. This time and work is the first thing you have to learn when you start preparing for the NQT exam. And pipes and sisters, this question will also be asked in the format of a running tap model. So you can also learn this one on priority. So time and work is on priority, and also pipes and sisters also on priority. And next, time, speed, and distance, this will also take a major part in your quantitative side, time, speed, and distance. And covering these three topics itself, it will count up to 20 questions. It may count up to 20 questions, and then you can just learn this probability, permutation, combination, and ratio and proportion, and profit and loss. So you can cover almost all the questions in your NQT quantitative side. And number system, HCF, and LCM, these are very simple topic, even though they still include in the syllabus. Like these are not asked separately, it may be asked in a farm, like in a number series it can be embedded. So if you have the basic idea of HCF and LCM, that is enough. You don't have to spend time in learning this separately. So this is also a big X. So now moving on to simple interest and compound interest. If you are well and good with the formulas, you can go with simple interest and compound interest, because these time and work, pipe and cisterns, and probability, permutation, combination, everything has formulas. So if you are not good with formulas, confusion will happen between simple interest and compound interest, and mostly simple interest is avoided in quantitative questions. Only compound interest is taken care, and even if you get simple interest question, those will be very confusing. So you should be very clear while reading the question, and if you are good with formulas, you can go for learning simple interest and compound interest, and this has the third priority, even only if you have time. And next, moving on to the data interpretation part. This data interpretation is just not just data thing, so this one will be easy to learn. So you can also consider this in second priority. So if you follow this priority to learn the things, it will be far more easier for you to save time and prepare according to the question pattern which is asked in NQD. So now moving on to the reasoning part. This quantitative, reasoning, and verbal, everything, and also coding has the same amount of mark. It should contribute in the same amount. So like you can do well in the reasoning and verbal, and others, this quantitative you can prepare like this will almost cover 50% of what is in there, and others you can attend in fluke. So that will count up to at least 45% of what is involved, and you may get 45% at least. And moving on to reasoning, you guys know about the syllogism, blood relation are easy kind of problem. This one you just practice for 5 to 10 questions, you will get it. So this one will have first priority, and also directions. These questions definitely will be asked in directions, and this one will also have first priority. And number series, it will be there, but while attending the questions you may just ignore this number series if it is bigger and tough to guess, because it may take the entire 2 minutes time. So this is of priority third. And decision making, this is kind of tricky question. You may get simple questions sometimes, and you may get very tough questions which will take up entire time. So be careful while attending the decision making question, and I'm also putting this in third priority. Figures and fractal analysis, like this figures, if it is like a picture or just a set of symbols, you can go for it easily, but with a tough one you have to take care of the time. So this reasoning part you have to only like arrange with what is the time management, because these questions may take up your entire time, but you should manage with a 2 minute time. If you have, you can set an alarm of every 2 minutes so that you don't miss or give extra time for any questions. Like setting up alarm is a good practice. It's a very good trick which I recommend you guys to try. And this figures and fractal analysis, I'll give this a second priority, because these questions get asked every time in the NQD exams. And alphabetical series, this you can go for it. This is a very easy one, you can easily guess. You have to just write the 26 alphabets and you have to try coding and decoding. This will also include the coding and decoding. And data sufficiency, this questions is also very easy. And seating arrangement is a big no. Like this seating arrangement questions are very tough when it comes, and it will usually take up to 3 to 4 questions in the NQD pattern, and these are really hard to guess. And if you keep on reading the question will be very tremendous to read, very big to read, and to understand that itself it will take a whole lot of time. So if you have time, you can try to guess them, or you can just answer them and fluke. So sometimes if our luck plays good, we may get right answers. So that's about the reasoning part. This is the strategy you can use to prepare for the reasoning part. And for syllogism, I'm also giving the second rating. And next, moving on to verbal also has the equal contribution as the other two up. So this one, everything you can learn in first priority, because reading comprehension, it is bigger. It depends on you. Maybe I'll give it second priority. Sentence arrangement is also again jumbling of words. Error detection is very easy, so you can go for it. And sentence improvement is also very important. If you learn these two, this active voice and passive voice can also be done easily. So this active voice and passive voice, you can go, if you're not good with active voice and passive voice, you can usually go with passive to active voice, because active voice is which you do in present, so you can translate the sentence in your own language and then again you can put it in English. So it will be mostly having the present in words, so it is easy to find the active voice than a passive voice. And sentence arrangement and reading comprehension is second priority, because these things we don't even learn, mostly we'll do it in fluke. For reading comprehension, one hint is you don't read the entire paragraph, which you guys already know, but to know about, or there are some questions like give a suitable title for this one, at that time you have to just understand what is in there. So I'll recommend you guys to give a vague read of what is in the comprehension and try to answer that. And there will be some questions like what the author is trying to say through this one, like that. So for that you need to have a vague idea of what the paragraph is about. So if you have time, you can try to give it a read and answer the questions, so this will improve your marks. And that's about verbal. This is the preparation strategy which you can do for quantitative reasoning and verbal. And moving on to the main part of coding concepts, like I have only listed out 6 coding concepts, which is very important to learn when it comes to cracking TCS NQT exams. So you don't have to learn the entire class oops concept, mostly not that. So you have to learn only 3 things, which is list, dictionary and a tuple. And this set is usually to get unique elements, so you can just remember the set is usually to get unique elements. So if in case you get a question to sort out the unique elements from the list or the dictionary or the tuple, you can directly use set. And input and output, usually we'll get it list, dictionary and tuple, and how you have to sort and iterate through them. So just practice on these concepts and you are more good to go for the NQT exam. And this will usually improve the way you practice and learn things. And also you should focus on patterns. So if you focus on pattern, you'll be well aware of the loops and those conditional statements. So if you are aware with these things, it is far more enough to clear an exam. And there are some previous questions which is already available in the channel, you can check that out, which is asked in DCA exams. So I'll try to post the coding questions which is asked on NQT as soon as possible, and also the quantitative reasoning and verbal questions, so you can have a check on how the questions are asked and what is the pattern you may usually get, and then desire learning on these things. Okay guys, I hope this video is helpful for you, and this is your very own Code Doraemon signing off. Let me know in the comments what video you want next, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll get notified whenever I post a new video. That's it guys, this is your very own Code Doraemon signing off. Bye bye.